Lee the Appraiser back for another segment of amazing appraising of Judaica we have ever seen. We had somebody come in with this a couple months ago, and we've actually been spending the last couple months trying to figure out what exactly this is. So we have a piece here that looks like old tarnished engraved silver. It measures about 12 to 14 inches high and is fairly heavy. So on the face of it, not really sure what it is. So what we did is we methodically opened it up and came to some conclusions. So our first thing what we're going to do is we're going to open up the entire piece to see what's in there. Oh my gosh. We got another piece here. We're going to take off the top. This is like, I forgot what they're called, these little Chinese little cups. You ever see that? You open up, there's another cup inside, and another cup inside. Okay, so let's look it up here. So, whoa, oh my gosh, this comes off, okay. So I think everything here is separated. So let's go over this first. Okay, let's start with this small little cup here. So, this looks like a little kos or cup. It looks like these items, I see some Hebrew here, so we're going to say this is a very interesting, possibly piece of Judaica. This looks like a kos or cup. We call it a kos in Hebrew. On the, let's see here, you have what's called the luchos, the 10 commandments, the 2 tablets that have the symbol of the 10 commandments. On this side here, you have some Hebrew writing here that we're going to examine in just a minute. You have looks like a Jewish menorah, a candelabra, a Chanukiah possibly. Oh, and let's see if we get a picture here. Can you get a close-up of that? You get that inside engraving? Yes? What we have in there are 2 hands that have the symbolic high priest symbol of what they did the high blessing, which is the hands sort of like this. I can't do it because I'm not a high priest, and neither was my father. But it has that symbol there. It is called, the Hebrew word is called duchanin, where the high priest blessed the Jewish entire community during, they actually did it every day, I think, and even on Sabbath. The custom now outside of Israel, outside of Jerusalem, is it's done just on the what they call the 3 holidays of Passover, Sukkot, and Shavuot. So the symbol is there, and it says actually Shabbos Kodosh, which is the holy day of the Sabbath. So we're going to say, and on the bottom of here it says Borei Peri Hagafen. So we're going to assume that this is the kos, the cup, as a lot of people know, not everybody, but a lot of people know that when one welcomes in the Sabbath on a Friday night, we do what's called a prayer called Kiddush, which is kadosh, which means holy, which means we bring in, it is a prayer service, it's like a paragraph or so, that we bless and welcome in the Sabbath. It's called Kiddush. That's done on Friday night, and a lot of the Jewish rituals are done over a cup of wine to signify the importance of the event. So you'll have a cup of wine in conjunction with the blessing on Friday night. On the Sabbath, you'll have it during a bris, the circumcision of an 8-year-old boy. You will have it at a wedding, for example. So it's done at those occasions. So we use a cup of wine, and it actually says here, and the inside it actually says Shabbos Candles, the Holy Sabbath, and Borei Peri Hagafen. So we come to the conclusion that this is the cup that is used on Friday night to welcome in the Sabbath. Okay, number 1. What else do we do on the Sabbath? Well, looking a little further here, we light candles, right? The women light candles. So what we have here is this is actually going to serve as the base of the larger cup. We'll get to that in a minute here. So on the bottom of the base of the entire piece, it says lehadlik ner shel Shabbos. So, and it says also Moshe Emes. So what this means, and it has two lions engraved here holding the scrolls of the Torah. And so obviously what this is used for, if you look closely, there are wicks here. So you have actually a number of small wicks and a couple larger ones. And this, we're going to assume, was the wicks that were used. It's called the Shabbos Candles, for the young girl or woman of the house to bench the candles and also to welcome in the Sabbath prior to making Kiddush with the cup. So it says here again, lehadlik ner shel Shabbos. Okay? Moshe emes, it says Moshe emes Torah emes. And now, this was the biggest problem. When this piece came into us, on the bottom it said here, lehadlik ner shel Hanukkah. Whoa. So we had the piece come in like this, and nothing made sense as to why the piece with even one hole here could be used on the Hanukkah holiday to light candles for the 8 days of Hanukkah. But lo and behold, one of my assistants, by accident, dropped this from the chair and it opened up. So lo and behold, we actually found the key here, and it turned out to be a menorah. This was hidden to us the whole time. It was locked closed, but when it hit the ground and opened up, I go, oh my gosh, that was unfortunately it hit the floor, but fortunately it opened up a puzzle to us. So this serves as the Shabbos licht, the candles for Shabbos. It also serves as the 8 candles for the Hanukkah for the Hanukkah holiday. It is actually made. You have a couple of the wicks here. So one was to pour oil in there, and the oil would, the wicks would siphon up the oil from the bottom of the piece. Now, in addition, it has the words. Okay, it has its Kiddush ner tomid. So with my understanding and doing a little investigation, and the fact that this appears to have every aspect of the Jewish life, ner tomid means in Hebrew like the eternal light. So it is my opinion that this was also used as a yahrzeit candle on the holidays. I think that would be the understanding. You have one wick here, and that this was a continuous light, so it would be used as a custom that when someone passes, their anniversary of their death is called yahrzeit in Hebrew, is celebrated, and also, more importantly, when one benches Yizkor, is a Jewish prayer that they have on the 3 major holidays of the course of the year. They light a candle, which is called a Yizkor light, and I think that's what this was used for. Okay? There's numbers of markings here that appear to be either 800 fine silver, and they have some other numbers that are 1300. So now we covered Hanukkah, and this would also be used, of course. At the end of the Sabbath, we make what's called Havdalah, which is the prayer that separates the Saturday night from the regular week of regular days. So in addition, we're missing something here. So you have the cup here that you make the blessing. You have the candles during Havdalah, which we say, and look at the light, our fingers and the light. But there's a basama box, it's called a spice box, that we use. It's a tradition to smell like cloves or something like that. So the understanding is that we have we have our Jewish soul, and our soul, the understanding is since we have a high holiday of Sabbath and we have the regular weekday, our soul goes down a little from the level it was, and in order to help appease and supplement that soul that might be like coming down a little and off its high, we smell spices that will give it an added lift. And this is a spice box for the cloves that comes with the cover here. That is really cool. These are all, by the way, decorated and ornated with beautiful old diamonds, old emeralds, old pearls throughout the entire piece. Okay, so now we've covered the holidays of the Sabbath, all the rituals in the Sabbath. We covered Hanukkah. We covered the 3 holidays which light a yahrzeit candle. Okay, we got a little more to do here. There's a holiday called Passover, Pesach. So we've come to the conclusion that this cup, this big cup, is too big to make a Kiddush or the blessings on Sabbath. So we're going to call this the Kos Eliyahu for Passover. It looks like it's probably close to 25 to 30 ounces. And this is a cup that typically is not, the Kos of Eliyahu is typically not drunk at all on the Passover. It's more of a symbolic ritual that after, at the end of the meal, one opens up the door, they fill up the most ornate cup that they can find, which this certainly is, and it's used to welcome in the Eliyahu Hanavi, the prophet of Eliyahu, and that's a very symbolic gesture that he joins us at the end of the Sabbath, at the end of the Passover Seder. So we covered just about everything, but there is another holiday that appears to be missing from this group, which a lot of you know of, and it's a fun holiday. I mean, obviously we were saved, but people get drunk and they read a special scroll on it, a Megillah. So what we open up here, we open up this, and this actually has what's called the Megillah Esther, or the Scroll of Esther. This is on original parchment. Okay, we had somebody yesterday, an expert in writing. It's called a sofer. He writes these types of words and letters, and he said it is from. It's the custom is Sephardi, so this is a Sephardi Megillah. Sephardi means they came from typically Spain or Portugal. We're going to get to that in a minute here, and really incredible. This is the original parchment from a cow that is handwritten. It has to be done under very careful and unique circumstances. The letters all have to be corrected and made sure it's done with the right intention. And this is about, I think it's, 9-10 chapters of the story of the Purim holiday with Queen Esther and the King Achashverosh, etc. So when we close this up here, we're going to talk about the engraving here for a second. So it has actually engraved like groups of grapes here. So why are the grapes there? Well, the reason is because there is a custom on the holiday of Purim to get drunk. So grapes represent wine, represent drinking, wine represents alcohol, so that is in conjunction with that. We have here, again, engraving of the 10 Commandments. We have some beautiful designs here throughout the entire piece, and what's very cool here, what appears to be Haman with his unusual Hamantashen hat, leading on the horse, Mordechai, who Haman was commanded to put on Mordechai's clothes, give Mordechai the king's, basically the king's authorized clothes, a jacket and crown hat, and Haman was commanded to be embarrassed and lead him around the town as he wanted to do himself. This all appears to be on a sort of a tarnished age silver engraved piece. There's some other like sort of designs here which we have not been able to figure out. It says M13 or 13M. Typically that might be a symbol of the silver maker or the silversmith at that time. All right, so now we come across, we basically, I think, came across of every reason, and this complete compilation of this very unique piece of Judaica. So let's just go, where did it come from, et cetera, who owned it. So we're looking over here. The first thing we see here, this is Portuguese. It says Dunas Garde. Okay, Dunas Garde, which my understanding translates into that God should guard us. All right, so that's very symbolic. Again, this we believe was, I'll get to it in a second, but it was made in Spain, and actually we believe it was owned by somebody in the small island of Mallorca, which is a small island in Spain, where they actually spoke Portuguese quite a bit. So this is Portuguese. That said God should guard us. This was during the time of the Inquisition, et cetera. Again, beautifully engraved, beautifully made. So we have that engraving there. Now we have another engraving here. I don't know if you can get that. This is the symbol of the kingdom of Spain. It has pictures of two sort of boats there. I was told that Portugal, Spain at that time was one of the largest shipping ports in the world, so it's very common for the ships to be part of the king's or their empire, their emblem, to show that they were proud of the ships that went in and out of Spain. All right, and that's what we have on the top here. If you look close here, it's going to say, this is engraved in English, Rafael de Mallorca. So it appears to be owned and given and possessed by a gentleman by the name of Rafael de Mallorca, not only here, but is also engraved over here on the inner Shabbos cup. This is in Hebrew, Rafael de Mallorca. So who is this Rafael de Mallorca? So the best we can find is that there was a Raphael Valls, V-A-L-L-S, who was a very prominent rabbi in the mid-1600s in Mallorca, Spain. And he, a lot of the Jews there had to publicly give up their Yiddishkeit and their Judaism. He refused to do so, and they actually killed him at the stake over there and burnt him to death in 1691. So it is our understanding that this was owned by him, used by him, Raphael Valls, and he perished as a Kiddush Hashem, as an honor for God, that he proclaimed Judaism and would not convert. So, to the best of our understanding, that is who owned this and who it was given to, and that is why his name is written here in 2 times. Okay, so just to summarize, we call this the Jewish Swiss Army knife. That it has the ability in one piece to have all these different characteristics for all these different high holy days and Sabbaths, and really a compilation of incredibly a number of things. This was not something easy for us to figure out exactly every piece and to put together every piece of the puzzle, but that's the story. So if you have, and this is quite valuable, and so we would estimate the value on this piece probably at $25,000 or more. If you have anything in Judaica you wish to want to appraise or sell or repair, or any other collectibles, jewelry, watches, art, antiques, stamps, coins, we have a gallery here on 57th Street. Please call or text us at 917-439-9610, and we're happy to help you in figuring out what you have. So until next time, this is Lee the Appraiser from APR 57 Galleries here in New York. And like we say, l'chaim. Okay, done. Okay.